fight with one of your parents and thought, I wish a witch from folklore would come and kill you? Yeah, yeah, me neither. Um, are people out there doing that? Are you guys doing that? Did I live a sheltered life? Um, maybe that's why Pyewacket didn't work for me because my parents are awesome. Maybe I'm in the minority. But I just didn't buy the fact that teenagers are so quick to jump to the hiring of some sort of folklore fixer to off their parents after a verbal fight. Especially given it's like to do that you have to go through a ritual. Like it's not just hitting a button. It's a whole thing. You have to go out to the woods. You have to cut your arm. You have to do all sorts of shit. Um, yeah, so maybe that's why this movie didn't work for me. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the wrong. Maybe lots of people jump into that. But yeah, it didn't. It felt weird to me. Pyewacket follows angsty goth Leah as she and her mother settle into their new lives after the loss of her father. Like any goth worth her weight in piercings, instead of therapy, Leah decides to turn to heavy metal in the occult. Fuck yeah, Leah. Love it. Great call. Big fan. Um, Leah's mother, while not conservative, takes issue with her daughter joining the Black Parade all of a sudden, and decides to say some really nasty shit to her. But Leah, instead of doing drugs or drinking or running off to a friend's house, she jumps straight from here to I'm going to kill you using black magic. Now, don't get me wrong, I love the idea for a horror movie. I love teenage goths getting into the occult. Um, it just seemed a bit extreme for her character. Like, they're goths, yes, but the most hardcore thing they do in this movie, apart from the ritual itself, is like listen to the Smashing Pumpkins. They aren't into sex, they aren't into blood drinking or vampirism or any of that. They're not even. It doesn't even seem like they're into black metal. Um, it just seemed a bit like having a kid listen to NWA and then having them have a fight with their parents, and then the kid goes straight to doing a drive-by. It just seemed to. It's the jump was just too quick for me to believe. Leah, she didn't even swear at her mum back. Like, try that, Leah. You might find calling her a bitch will make that all go away. It seemed like such a jump. That being said, the movie has quite a decent Blair Witch feel about it, and the director uses a handycam camera to follow the characters as they like run through the trees and stuff, which I think is very effective. It sort of shows you viewer from the monster's point of view, but they get to a scene where I think they have the greatest scare potential, and they play it off as a practical joke. And I couldn't help but feel that was a waste of a setup, given it's the scariest part of the whole movie. It seemed like an odd choice. They also don't delve into the aftermath of any of the supernatural events in this movie very well. Something will happen, and then or like specifically to a character, and then we just move on. There's no closure about the character. You don't hear about the character anymore. They're not on screen. And for a movie that seems to rely on family and friendship drama, you sort of need to know what's happening to the family and friends. Um, the acting in this movie is fairly solid, and I actually really liked Leah's little group of goth buddies, especially her best friend Janice. Janice, MVP. She never once thinks Leah's crazy. She's like a ride or die. Big fan of Janice. But weirdly, the movie simultaneously paints Leah to be this strong, well-read, independent teen, and then a few scenes later, she overreacts and seems like a fucking idiot. Like, there is a scene where something happens that leaves tangible evidence. Like, you could pick it up and be like, I'm not crazy, this. And when Leah's mum gets home and starts yelling at her about it, Leah doesn't even bring it up. She just goes, oh, okay, you're just being mean to me. It just, like, she just gives, it's weird. It's a weird juxtaposition of independence and then childlike. I don't know where they were going for that. It was weird. It looked like they were just looking for any excuse to have conflict between Leah and her mum without a build-up. Like every scene had to be a fight. Um, don't get me wrong, it does get like their relationship does mend and it does get better towards the end, but it just seemed weird. It was just jumping around everywhere. The director definitely does the right thing in terms of not showing the monster. Less is for sure more when it comes to this movie, and Adam McDonald knows that. I just wish he'd pulled the trigger a bit more because he had some really good scare setups, but they don't seem to go anywhere in this. They just seem to hang in the air and then fade. I recommend watching this if you love angsty teen horrors. This is sort of The Craft, that sort of thing. This is in there. Um, if you know a little bit about Pyewacket as a cryptid, the podcast Lore has a fantastic episode on Pyewacket. It's one of my favorites. I wouldn't recommend watching this if you want something really scary. This did not scare me that much. I just felt like it was it was almost a build up and no payoff. If you hate horror plot holes, there's also plenty of them in here. If you like your parents, you might not connect with this like I did. I mean, straight to murder. Really, we're going straight to black magic murder. Didn't want to try taking 3 long breaths or something. Odd. It's not. That being said, it's not a terrible film. It's a fairly good crack at occult teens, much like The Craft, but it falls short of hitting like masterpiece status, like A Dark Song, Devil's Candy, Hereditary, all really well done occult films with some form of like teen in it. That being said, I may be in the minority as a lot of people seem to love this film, so maybe I didn't have enough shared experience to connect with the characters like they were anticipating. I don't know. As always, thanks for watching. I'm off to have a horror movie night with some mates, so I should have a fairly decent review for you tomorrow. If you do watch Pyewacket, let me know what you think. Let me know if I'm a big dum-dum and I just didn't get it. See you all tomorrow. Peace.